Among them are sons of the house of Israel, described with distinctive terms, dark of face with hair tightly wound, speaking a tongue related to the people of Punt and Saba. That's not Europe, that's East Africa. Even more striking, a temple decree from Darius I preserved in fragments from Susa refers to a covenant people exiled from the lands of Cush and brought north by force. This flips the narrative on its head, because if the Israelites weren't just in Babylon, but had roots stretching far south into the kingdoms of Cush and Saba, then what we've been told about where Israel began is incomplete at best and deliberately altered at worst. Let's pause here. You may be wondering, how could something this significant be ignored for so long? The answer is uncomfortable. When Western scholars began translating and interpreting ancient texts in the 18th and 19th centuries, they weren't neutral. Many were funded by empires that built their power on the transatlantic slave trade, on colonizing Africa, on convincing the world that black skin meant savagery, not sacredness. So when ancient Persian texts described Israelites in African terms, those passages were footnoted, dismissed, or simply never translated for the public. But one passage they couldn't erase, because it's right in our Bibles, is Isaiah 45:1. "Thus says the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have held." Let that sink in. God calls Cyrus, the Persian king, his anointed. In Hebrew, that word is Mashiach. Yes, the same word we translate as Messiah. Now ask yourself, why would a pagan king be called Messiah? Unless God was using an outsider to protect the true insiders, a people who had been cast out, conquered, scattered, a people described by Persian eyes as dark-skinned, curly-haired children of covenant. The prophet Isaiah didn't just praise Cyrus for military victory. He claimed that Yahweh himself was behind Cyrus's rise for the sake of Jacob, Israel, my chosen. That's not just political, that's prophetic. Let's return to those scrolls. Another fragment found in Persepolis refers to the singers of Yahweh, whose chants echo the melodies of the Cushite mothers. In one poetic verse, the scribes note that the Israelites mourned in the language of the south but worshipped in the name of the northern sky. This isn't random poetry, it's theology. And it confirms a truth long buried, that the Israelites weren't born in Europe, but remembered Africa. Now imagine you're a Persian scribe living centuries before Jesus, watching these displaced people rebuild their identity. You notice their customs, their music, their language. You record them not as white-robed pilgrims from the north, but as Africans bearing a flame of faith. That's what these scrolls reveal. And here's where the twist sharpens. The Book of Ezra. Part of our own Bible tells us that Cyrus not only allowed the Israelites to return to Jerusalem, he funded the rebuilding of the temple. He ordered that the gold and silver taken by Nebuchadnezzar be restored. But Ezra doesn't describe what the people looked like. The Persian documents do. They saw them as Africans.